Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first webinar of the season. I'm so glad you guys could join us today. Um, my name is Lindsay. I'm a marketing analyst here at Lumaprints. And as a general scope of these webinars, just so if you're new to this, we cover all kinds of topics regarding printing, Lumaprints, POD, art business, and more. We're also always looking to interact with our customers, get their feedback, and also help them out with some knowledge that we have as people in the industry. Going into the new year, especially, we have some exciting topics for you, as well as sharing knowledge of what's to come, as well as whatever is related to Luma prints. So hope you guys could stick around and enjoy the webinar and future webinars up ahead. Of course, if there's a topic that you are interested in, we're always open to suggestions as need be, and we always appreciate hearing from you guys. But now we could go on to today's topic, and you know, with the first webinar of the year, I think no better way to start than understanding what comes with the future of art printing. And we're going to be kind of dissecting this from both point of views of not only the art business, but a little bit also of the art printing business and how we contribute to it as well. For the most part, I think a general overview is that while we are making advancements towards faster art printing, better art printing, and so on and so forth, I think in the big grand scheme of things, there is still a want for human curation, quality check, and person-to-person connection that I think, as though even though that we do have these technological advancements, bots are helping us, algorithms are helping us, a lot of things are helping us ultimately, people do appreciate the human elements that we bring forward in the business, as well as the ability and knowledge that professionals could bring into this. So I think that's a general overview, but of course, we'll discuss this in further detail as we go in. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we can go ahead and start with the presentation. All right, so I already gave you the kind of intro, so we can go into, I believe, the emerging trends that we'll see when it comes to art printing in particular and what customers on your end are seeking. So I think as a general scope for the year 2026, customization and experience-driven buying has taken, I think, an importance over just simplified fulfillment of art printing. And just to get into more details regarding this, the first and foremost concept is convenience, and convenience takes a lot of meanings here. In particular, though, we are talking about multiple sales channels that you can offer for your customers because right now, at this point in time, a large industry and a large part of the, I would say, customer base is buying directly from their platforms that they are scrolling through using as social media. A great example of this would be the TikTok shop and how a lot of people are purchasing them from there without ever leaving their social media platform. And the idea is that not only are people kind of, watching, say, a video of the product, they love the product. They want the next step to be able to purchase that product be as easy and seamless. And we could kind of capitalize on that as people who are business owners by just even having a quick portal to your store on your website from social media. So offering links and more so are all things that you can do on whether it's Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, as long as you create an ease for your customers to go from point A, which is social media, to point B, which is the actual purchasing journey, the better. Another concept is also trying to offer as many payment options as you can. Customers are always expecting not only the basic credit card information, but they're also, looking to see if there's offers such as PayPal options, Clara, payment in installments, and that could be seen with PayPal in four payments, for example. Overall, though, you do want to just make sure that you are offering these payment options so that they are able to choose their preferred purchasing. The last thing you want to do is have a customer who doesn't make that purchase because they don't have their preferred payment option there. Another concept is also, like we kind of mentioned before, is just a streamlined purchasing process. If your customer could make the purchase in a few clicks, all the better. The less amount of pages they have to go through to make that purchase is also a great way to conceptualize it. At best, they should see the cart and then the checkout page and be good, as opposed to other things where they are asked questions or there's more details that they have to provide, and so on and so forth. If it could just be done in 2 pages or less, that's all the better. The next up concept is recommendations. And I say this with both the concept of offering a large amount of variety, because customers are seeking customization and the ability to pick and choose what they want for their art. So think about things like map boards, think of frame options and the like. Maybe even offer customization in regards to the art itself. Those are all really important concepts to bring to the customers who do appreciate the ability to customize. In the same breath, though, offering those choices is great, but you still want to offer curation on your end and suggestions as products ultimately can be even stronger in presentation when you have a strong design and a strong, for example, mock-up, say it be on the homepage, or if it's on product page itself. There is an appeal that you can bring customers in the moment that you have a very strong image, say you shared it on Pinterest or social media or similar platforms, just by virtue of doing that and offering that preset, say it's a specific map board with a specific type of frame, with a specific type of art. And, that could be the recommendation that you offer because while you will offer other frame colors, other map boards, and other types of executions of the art in general, offering the strongest or maybe the best seller or the most popular product is a great way to grab more sales. As for what is going to help you a lot in the long run is the visibility of customer reviews and user-generated content. I think now more than ever, social proof is very important, and that is not just seen in a reviews page on your website, but there's also needs to be a bit of that kind of review and um, I guess, customer input seen on your social media and other customer social media platforms as well. So, say you yourself kind of showcase the reviews that are on your website, on your social media. That is a great way to do so. But also, if you could incentivize customers to make the reviews on their own pages as well, the strongest form of social proof is definitely word of mouth. And so, if someone sees someone who isn't the owner of the store, talk and boast about the art or the product itself, then all the better for you and your customer. And also in creating more hype, I will say overall. And the last item is definitely one of those things where if you have the understanding and be able to use those applications by all means, and that is adapting algorithms. We discussed this in previous webinars before, but if we can adapt similar concepts that you might see, say, on an Amazon or a large retail store, the idea that when you click on a product, it will suggest other products to you that are of similar nature or similar aesthetic, colors, overall vibes, it's very strong. I think now it's a bit more sophisticated than just showing things that are of a similar collection. Rather, you want to show people and customers that are reviewing one product listing to see if there is a different product on your store that could appeal to them more strongly, thus giving them a higher chance to purchase something from your store. So the key for this year is really adapting and curating your website to make sure that it's live time developing and understanding your customer's taste. Similar to when you're on, for example, Reels or TikTok, where you are scrolling through the videos and they become more curated to your preference of what you like to see. Very similar to what we kind of expect now for online stores and retail. But you could definitely adapt to it thanks to now applications that offer those services. As for the actual, I would say, technology when it comes to production, now more than ever, there are faster machines, there's faster processing, and the overall quality of printers has improved, I will say, over the years, as well as color accuracy. But us being in the business and understanding how these said machines work, it is still important that customer or that us as the production people are more aware of how those printers work, as well as understanding, calibration, and knowing, how to make sure we are keeping up with not only the machines, but making sure that quality is still top tier and very important because machines could print all they want, but they're gonna, always not be, sometimes as machines do, they break down or they are not always accurate. That's what requires, I guess, the human touch to partake in this advancement and making sure we keep up with it. Overall, I think the future isn't overall pushing out craftsmanship, but rather I think technology is supporting it. So while we do see more speed and efficiency, automation does is not just the only solution to our future, but as well as humans who are, there and making sure that the overall technology is doing what it's supposed to do, and that requires again, human touch and human oversight. So I don't think craftsmanship is going anywhere. As a prime example, I think when we're talking about stretching canvas, as an example, we'll have technology and machines that will help aid us in stretching these canvases. But overall, it's still encouraged that humans help stretch the canvas itself because we are able to gauge and taunt the canvas as need be around the stretcher bars. That is just a small example in the grand scheme of things, but it shows to us, even though we have a visual of what these machines are doing and how they're improving, nonetheless, it still requires training and craftsmanships and skills to make sure that the quality of the art that is going to be going to your customer is the best of the best and can, really reflect what technology has advanced with. Again, requires a human input in that regard. And overall, going into the new year and how we see the printing industry, no matter how advanced technology becomes, materials are still an important factor when buyers see and feel the difference between quality materials and, I guess, for example, unspecified poster print. We want to definitely highlight the big, known features of what makes the wall art high quality. Here at Lumaprints, we always are very transparent with what our materials are. For example, we showcase the paperweight, canvas textures, the quality of the frames, and we also are proud of our materials being built to last. Archival canvas, archival papers, acid-free papers, archival inks, genuine inks. These are all factors that we highlight on our website, and I highly encourage you, as someone who might own an art store, to also reflect that so your customers understand the value that you're sharing with them and the product that is not only just a really strong image that you're providing as the artist, but also that the partner that you're working with as us as Lumaprints, you could definitely include those features to hopefully give your customer the understanding that quality does come first, as well as, um, art material that's meant to last. Another component to consider is the consistency and reliability of items. So while we will see trends and things pop up here and there over the years, some people might say that one specific product has a lot of people interested in it and wanting to buy it. Overall, just I would say keep an eye out for the actual quality of said trends and trendy products that you might see on the market, as some are not built to last, some are ones that be really interesting for the customers now, but maybe in a couple years' time they might not be working anymore or they might deteriorate over time. I think with consistency and archivalness of products, that is a very important factor just to consider and keep in the back of your mind when you are selling and offering your art, especially if you want to keep repeat customers. I think Lumaprints supports this again with us having products that we have R&D'd, that we have tested to make sure that they last the test of time. And we ourselves, as a business model in general, have adapted to sell to our customers in bulk and have had customers over a long time, some for more than 5 years plus. So we understand what it means to have consistency and quality built over time, and even then improve over time as technologies emerge. The reliability that we do here behind the scenes is so you yourself can feel confident in the partner that you have for print. I would say that in the future, a lot of what will be heavily favored is just the predictability and not having any surprises in the long run. Because again, we can introduce new and exciting products all we want, but we want to make sure that the products we do introduce will stick around and will last. And then I see that just to go back for a bit, I noticed that Bethany asked, so all canvases are hand stretched. I'd like to highlight hand stretching aspect. Yes, so all our canvases are hand stretched. A person is usually there taunting the canvas and stretching it. We also have people who oversee the stretcher bars and the quality and the measurements being accurate. So you'll have a consistent size and um, frame of your art. So that's definitely something you could highlight to your customers as we go into this presentation. So thank you for asking that, Bethany. See. And then someone else asked, since this is a good time to pause. Jasmine asked, which paper Lumaprints would you recommend for poster prints when producing painted artwork? So we have two great options, and you could I think, make a decision based on whether or not you want glossy or not glossy. But our archival matte is a very strong contender for poster print, as even though it is matte, it is a very nice general white paper that is still thick and still shows the colors clearly. There is minimal texture, it's flat. If you go into the other matte options, there's going to be some texture to them, so they might not mimic poster print as accurately. The alternative would be semi-gloss paper print, and that one is, as read in the description, semi-gloss to it. That means that while it is reflective, similar to glossy paper, there is almost like a slight texture to it, very minimal, that helps diffuse the light when light is shown upon it. So that one is a great option. I would say if you want something a little bit glossy, go for the semi-glossy. But if you want something that's matte, definitely the archival matte when it comes to deciding between poster print. An additional question that was asked is that they noticed that when there is variations in weather, canvases may arrive a little bit looser. This is just by virtue of the materials used, for example, wood and the canvas itself. The best option you could do here is with a mister or a little bit of a water spray, go to the back of the canvas and spray it lightly and let it set for a bit, as that will help tighten the canvas a little bit. So that's one way you could do that. Great. And let's go ahead and proceed into the next part. As we're evolving buyers' expectations, I think there is a higher standard for presentation. I think in years beforehand, fulfillment of art has been a bit more simple and a bit more, just get the print to the customer, and there was not necessarily less thought to it, but there was an understanding that there is a limitation to what art fulfillment could be like. But as we go into G-clay printing, which was is what Lumaprints does, and using quality frames and doing customizations, there has been a lot of developments over the past few years that allows for you to be able to offer these to your customers. And things like the framing, the mounting, and the finishings are something that the customers are really looking into and prioritizing when they're looking for it, because they want something that really evokes the same quality as the art print itself. And for our customers who have really amazing art, we want to make sure that the fixtures, the framing, the product type, calls and is adaptable and compatible with that. I will say that presentation also is a huge factor in how a customer um, views the value and the professionalism behind the art. So again, I think very sophisticated mock-ups, or even having a few mock-ups that stand out from the general, put the image in the stock photo and so on and so forth, definitely consider taking a photo shoot of your art on walls at your own home or in a very nice location, just to give customers a sense and a feel that this is a very curated store. This is a store that has a human to it, that is developing the art, that is putting up the art into, environments that make sense for it. And that just also appeals to how you could present your pieces beautifully and make them feel intentional and complete. Customers are looking for, a bit more of that curation in general. see. Additionally, I think that as well going into the new year, a demand for transparency and trust is really important. Customers want to know who they're buying from, and so you can definitely have your brand as the, highlight of your store, but including a bit of yourself, talking a bit about yourself is what customers are ultimately looking for and do appreciate when they do see it. As well as when there is trouble that arises, being honest and giving them a very, I would say, accurate timeline of how issues can be resolved. And building trust with them is a great way to have a repeat customer or a customer that really appreciates what you do and how you run your business. Um, Again, accuracy of the products as well, making sure you're giving them the most accurate information of what the product is, as well as maybe shipping times as well, just so they have an idea of what to expect and making sure that you are sharing what you know and to the best of your ability. When something does happen, inevitably, if say, there was a less than perfect experience, you are able to mitigate that by being honest and offering real-time solutions really quickly. Lumaprints ourselves understand that, no one can be perfect, but when there is a trouble that arises, we find solutions for you as quickly as possible, such as replacements, such as, helping you out with expedited shipping and finding solutions that overall make sense for you and that you can provide for your customer same day or within, um, a quick amount of time. So, when it comes to Luma Prince's visions for the future, we understand that, innovation isn't just about us finding the trendiest products at the point in time, but it's solving the needs that our artists may have and seeing, okay, well, a lot of our customers have been asking for this. Let's go ahead and look into this and see what we can do. When it this in particular is talking about new products and their quality. When we do find new products, we just want to make sure that they are the best quality possible. And just to give you guys a little bit of a preview for what may come, is that we are looking into wall scrolls for the new year, and this is something that we're still researching and developing to make sure that the raw materials that we're using are the best quality, they're meant to last, and they are something that we can see in the long run being a permanent fixture on our store. I think that this is something just to keep an eye out for. There is no set date yet, but this is definitely something that we're looking into here at Lumaprints. So look forward to wall scrolls. Another vision is that the technology that we're using is going to be used to enhance the consistency and accuracy, but not necessarily making things, with less care or cutting corners particularly. So we understand that with technology, there is still a heavy responsibility on us as the production team and as the team here that works on your products at Anaheim and in Louisville, Kentucky. When it comes to the general visions for the future, for you yourself and in general, expanding your products overall is a great way to start off the new year. Consider, offering more variants of your products as well as maybe, again, considering introducing art that you haven't had before onto your store and maybe exploring new genres if you haven't done so already. You never know when you could find your next niche. So it's always great to explore that concept as well. Consider part of your variance when it comes to frames and how you present your mockups as well. You could always change up your mockups for the new year and have them a bit more, I would say, modern and contemporary with I guess, the vision and the kind of home decor landscape that we have this year. And I think overall, also the tools that can help artists grow with confidence is important. There are tools that can make life easier for your art business so you yourself can focus on your art and less about your business. And just in general, it's a very simple goal for us here at Luma Prints. We want to help artists succeed and be ready for the new tomorrow and maybe going into a year where you can have more success than ever. And we're here for you to provide that. And again, I think when it comes to art printing in general, we are ones that build ourselves around partnerships, and really it's a two-way street for us. We see you grow, we grow as well, but we also want to see you grow further because we know that there's so much potential when it comes to selling art. So it's never felt or it's never been just purely transactional for us. And with that being said, I think that's the conclusion to our webinar, but I still wanted to cover some questions and answers we not only get from you guys here in the chat, but also here in our submission form that we received. So I'll be covering that. I noticed that someone asked on the chat that they order some of our float frame canvases, and every once in a while, you can see a shiny screw in the gutter between the frame and the canvas. I would need to see more. I would love to see a picture of that if you could send it to our contact at lumaprints.com. That way we can assess what is going on and if that is part of production or if that is an error. Should there be anything that is less than perfect when it comes to the product quality, we are very quick about offering a replacement for that. So I understand where you're coming from if you find that it is part of the canvas that you see is unsightly. Yeah, and then also Christina asked, do you have any updates coming to tell us about? I heard you might be offering matte surfaces for canvas. Is that happening? At the moment, I have no new news for this, but when there is news that arises, we'll definitely bring it up in a webinar, as well as offer you guys some updates on that via email in particular. But thank you for asking. I will need to get back to our team about that, but I will make note of it. So thank you about that. All right. And so I do have some submissions here. Oh, someone also asked, would it be possible to print on the raw side of the canvas? As of now, we don't have that option, but that is an interesting suggestion. So suffice to say, I will probably ask our upper management about that to see if that's a possibility, but I will keep that in mind. So I might copy it right now so I can relay it to our team. And very duly noted about the matte surface. I know some customers have a preference for the shiny, semi-glossy versus the matte, so we'll take that into consideration as well. And then someone asked if we had a particular etching paper available. And I would need to do some looking into that, but at the moment we do not offer that type of etching paper. But thank you for asking, Lee. I'll go ahead and keep your inquiries and save them for later, but thank you. Let's see. Now, for the submissions that were sent to us via our webinar email, someone asked for regards to the solid border color option that we offer on lumaprints.com when you're on the ordering site. They asked if the color picker or the eyedropper tool is a functional aspect of the solid border color option. But we wanted to clarify that we do not offer an eyedropper at this point in time. But I could definitely see how the eyedropper icon can be a bit confusing. So I have since passed it to the web developers, so we'll be updating that accordingly. Someone else asked that if there are plans to integrate with lower price tiers for Squarespace. At the moment, we only offer advanced for our customers when it comes to Lumaprints direct integration with Squarespace. I have since relayed your question to our web developers to see what we can do, but I'll be sure to email you directly to see what we'll do. And if there's any updates to that, I will also relay it to the rest of our customers. So nonetheless, I agree with you that maybe there could be lower price tiers that we can make more accessible when it comes to direct integration. So thank you for that question. Someone else asks, will you start offering 36 by 70 canvases? Just for the note, we offer custom sized canvases as big as 100 by 52 for the 1.25 and the 1.5 canvas. So this is an option. A 36 by 70 is something we could definitely do. It would just have to be something that you input in the custom size prompt that is there when you are ordering. Another customer asked, when it comes to blacklight reactive, UV reactive, or glow-in-the-dark prints that have become popular, are these types of prints that Lumen Prints may offer? At this point in time, we don't offer them, but something here at Lumaprints that we abide by is that we never say never. And we always do our due diligence to review the longevity and quality of whatever products we're thinking of introducing to you guys as customers. At the moment, we're not exploring those options, but I have since passed it along to our research and development team. So again, we'll never say never, but it will require us to really thoroughly research the product before we think of introducing it. Someone else asked, someone else asked, I have an amazing online store and started a wholesale relationship with and had a contract with Wayfair and to supply them art. I need help determining what's going to sell before I start marketing. What do people buy now and what will they buy next year? And so, first off, I would like to give my congratulations to you as becoming an art supplier for a large retail platform. If we're talking about product types, just to give you our knowledge as well, our most popular and lucrative products are definitely the framed canvas and the framed fine art paper prints, especially in the home decor industry. So, as for the type of art, let me go ahead and go to the next page just to kind of highlight what we see because we also partake in curation and understanding the art trends that are going on. I'm going to use some trends that we saw in 2025 as a sample of what's sticking around in the year 2026, at least what we've seen so far in the new year. Some concepts to consider if you are very much a business forward person, just kind of to offer a little bit of a discrepancy, or not discrepancy, but disclaimer. These are just trends that we notice are popular amongst customers at this point in time. And by customers, these are the front end customers, the B2C customers. Um, these are what is are very popular right now and what have seemed to last over all of 2025 and have not seen any decline in trends as of now. So some concepts to consider are airy abstracts. In particular, consider um, calming colors with very interesting compositions. It allows for people to have a similar museum-like quality brought into their home without it feeling overwhelming, especially as people have smaller spaces. They want to introduce something artistically interesting while still making it feel like it helps and keeps the space relaxing and not overwhelming. Animals and pets have consistently been trending all year last year. I would say at the beginning of the year of 2025, it was particularly big cats such as tigers and cheetahs. But as we noticed over probably from August onwards, horses have made a huge comeback. And this could vary between wild horses and equestrian, like aesthetics, such as hunting dogs and the like. Those have been a big factor, as well as and another point of the animals and pets has been cats, particularly pets in general as well, so dogs and cats. As long as they're a little bit quirky and have an illustrative element to them, as shown here in the example, they are very popular still, and we don't see them going down anytime soon. As for fun illustrations, I think, very graphic, punchy images with cool colors and interesting compositions, maybe some typography as well, location-based illustrations, plants. I will say a lot of these elements are still big and they're still doing really well. So, these are some, and a nice honorable mention, which kind of could pair up with area abstracts, is the painterly landscapes. And by painterly landscapes, they don't have to be overtly detailed. They can be more on the more fluid side where you kind of can't tell if it's an abstract or a landscape type of look. So those have also done really well this year and are looking to stay and sustain and stick around. Let me just look up here as well. Yeah, Sarah has helped me here in the chat answer some questions, so thank you for that, Sarah. Right. And this is something that some people ask sometimes. It would be awesome if we could have our logo placed on the back of the frame print that we have the paper applied to the back to help protect it. Right now, there's no way for us to put any branding on that. At the moment, we do offer branding for some of our products. So for Canvas, it is a bit more logistically viable to put the logo of your store onto the back of the canvas, but we'll definitely take into consideration putting this type of logo placement onto other products. So thank you for your feedback in that regard. So thank you, Christina. I'll take note of your inquiry and your suggestion. Someone else asked, do you offer double-sided printing? And at the moment, we do not offer it, but we're always open to considering it as we develop our stores further. And then lastly, I see that Bethany asked that in the canvas there is a QR code on it. Is there any option to remove that? And what does the QR code lead to? So, in order to make sure that the quality is top notch, by that, it's also making sure that we follow the product around so it doesn't get lost in the production cycle. We do put a QR code that is an internal code that is identifiable only to us and us as Lumaprints production only. If you were to click on that QR code and use your phone, for example, it would lead to nothing because it's an internal kind of database that we're referring to, so we can understand what this product is, who it's for, and who's being shipped to. So that's a very important part of the product because if we didn't have that, unfortunately, things could get lost or things could be misidentified. That is the best identifier that we can use. And we understand that it might not be something you would like on the back of the canvas, but it is very important. So at the point in time, we do not have an option to cover it. If you really do care about that, though, if you were to frame it, we could offer as well. And even with unframed canvases, we do offer a backing that is something as an additional, but that is the only option I could offer you for that. And I'll just keep this open for a bit, and people might be asking more questions, but I do appreciate you guys offering questions. That way we can better suit and better curate for you guys and offer your suggestions and all that. Thank you so much, Norma, and we appreciate you as well. We appreciate you guys as our customers, as well as the feedback that you're offering in this point in time. So thank you for that. And yeah, that's something we hear often. It's quality reasons, or it might be also that the previous partner that they worked with couldn't scale to the growth that they had, and so on and so forth. But we're always curious and interested to see why, Luma Prince is a choice for you. And we love hearing it. But thank you so much for offering that tidbit. Awesome. No, it's great to see people have been selecting us, and we love to see it. Thank you guys. Okay, let me answer one at a time just to quickly answer question about the extra large sizes. At the point in time, we only offer up to 100 by 52 inches for our canvas, framed and unframed for 1.25 and up in thickness. So those are as big as we get, and that's relatively big. So 100 inches is give or take more than I would say I think 8 feet, 9 feet even. So keep that in mind that we do offer those really large sizes. You just need to input them in the custom size prompt. At this point in time, we do not offer 3D printing. Not to say we won't explore it and we're not looking into it, but this is something that when it comes to this type of printing, we have to be a bit more careful about because it is a quality consistency item that we just want to make sure is doing the similar output the same way we expect regular printers to do, which is consistency and also the material that is used. So again, we're not against that or we're not exploring that, but we'll take that into consideration. Someone else asked, we really love the thin 1.5 natural wood frame and we'll love to see a thin 1.5 floating frame option for black and white, just like the natural frame. I know which one exactly you're talking about, so we'll look into that as well. Thank you for the feedback nonetheless. We always love servicing our customers and seeing what we can do for you. So we'll take that into consideration for future product development. On canvas prints, do you provide any kind of varnish, which is I assume what you were saying, or protective surface on the canvas? So our canvases come with already a protective finish to them. There is a coating to them that is already there to help protect the inks and protect them from getting scratched up as easily as they could be. So just to keep that in mind, that is already kind of built into the canvas material itself. So while it's not necessarily a varnish, it's definitely a protective surface. So hopefully that answers your question. Can I apply a varnish on top of your productions? We haven't necessarily tested that out in full, so while we can't guarantee that you can apply a varnish to the top of your canvas or your reproductions, by all means, feel free to order a small rolled canvas sample of ours, and you could definitely test with the varnish that you're using or you're interested in using. I will say I have used oil based paints onto our canvas and they have worked just fine. Just as a frame of reference. So there is an ability to apply some materials on our canvas. Whether or not your specific type of varnish will work is something that I ask that you may need to test out. At this point in time, we do not offer clear textures for the painterly effect, or sometimes it's referred to as embellishing. But it's definitely something you could definitely apply to the canvas itself. So we have tested embellishing like that, clear embellishing to our canvases, and they've worked just fine, but it is not a type of service that we offer. And yeah, no problem. We're always here to help you. And again, I am one type of communication, but our customer service is also another great resource. They are just as knowledgeable as I am when it comes to our products and our production. So they're also great if you ever need to ask questions outside of the webinars. But nonetheless, we use this opportunity kind of as like office hours to talk to our customers. It also helps us understand where our customers are coming from and if they have any questions that we can answer live time. Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you guys. And I think that's a great way to end the session for this week's webinar. If you do have any more questions, feel free to contact us at contact@lumaprints.com, or you can also leave your message here in the chat still. We'll keep this up for a little bit longer, but me and my teammates do need to move on to the next meeting. It is a busy day after all, so I'll leave you guys here. Thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.